Hi, I'm Siri Dean with McREL. I'm one of the authors of the second edition of Classroom Instruction That Works. We've all used or heard the expression, all students can learn. But that isn't likely unless there is high-quality instruction in every classroom, every day. What does high-quality instruction look like? Classroom Instruction That Works answers this question by summarizing the research on instruction over the last 40 years and presents that research in ways that help teachers know what strategies to use and how, when, and why to use them. These strategies help students develop confidence in their ability to learn challenging content and access and build on their prior knowledge. These strategies also help students interact with knowledge on deep levels, store knowledge and memory in multiple ways, and use complex reasoning processes to make knowledge meaningful and memorable. When teachers use these strategies intentionally and with quality and fidelity to create the environment for learning, to help students develop understanding, and to help students extend and apply their knowledge, these strategies are powerful tools for teaching and learning. Now, let's hear more about one of these effective strategies.
Hi, this is Howard Pittler with McREL, one of the authors of Classroom Instruction That Works, second edition, with a tip for you today on setting objectives and providing feedback. One of the most important strategies, maybe the most important strategy that we present in Classroom Instruction That Works, is the idea of setting clear objectives for students. Many times in the classroom, as we do observations, we'll look at the whiteboard and we'll see a really well-written activity. And we'll see kids actively engaged in that activity. But the real question then becomes, what are they learning? Are they doing an activity or are they learning? We believe that it is crucially important to begin a lesson with a clear objective written in student-friendly language, written on the whiteboard. Why does it need to be written on the whiteboard? Why can't I just tell my kids? Well, what's really important is not all of your kids are oral learners. Some of your kids are visual learners. So putting it up on the whiteboard in student-friendly language gives them a reference point. Also, in addition to just putting the objective on the whiteboard and explaining to the kids what they're going to be learning, give your kids a chance to just talk about it for 30 seconds. So kids, here's what we're going to be learning today. What I'd like you to do is now turn to your neighbor. What do you think we're learning today? Give them that opportunity for oral discourse to practice the academic vocabulary they're going to be using. So we set a clear objective in writing on the whiteboard and give your kids about 30 seconds to talk about it. Then, during the course of instruction, as kids get actively involved in the activity that supports that learning objective, sometimes their minds wander away from the learning objective and straight into that activity. So 15 minutes or so into a learning activity, maybe call a pause into instruction and say, kids, remember today we said we were going to be learning about. How do you think we're doing? Focus them back on that activity. And then finally, as we get to that transition point where students are finishing this subject or this objective and moving on to the next, rather than just say, hey kids, put away your books and get out your math books. It's time for our next lesson. Say, remember, we said we were going to be learning this. How did we do? Talk to your neighbor one more time, giving them that opportunity again to review the learning objective. When kids can tell you what they're learning, they learn it at a deeper and more enduring level than when they just remembered the activity. So just like we teach kids to write a good paragraph, tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them, do the same with objectives. Tell them what they're going to be learning, give them a chance to practice it with their partner, do the activity, and then recap what did we learn. That's your tip for today on setting objectives.